Hey y'all.
Funny loving.
It's funny loving.
Funny loving.
It's funny loving. Funny loving.
Funny loving.
Funny loving.
Funny loving.
Funny loving.
Hey, yeah.
Okay, y'all.
At the end of this, you know I'm gonna have a singing career.
Oh God.
Comedy, hold your breath.
Oh Lord.
So this episode is gonna be about none other than.
Come on, baby.
Come here, boy. Come here, boy. Come here, boy. Kano.
It's about Kano.
It's about Kano. It's about Kano. It's about Kano.
But
Kano.
it is about how our baby almost died.
We almost lost him.
He was, how old was he? 12 weeks? It was like 12 weeks.
12 weeks.
We had just had him. We hadn't even had him 2 weeks.
Hadn't even had him 2 weeks.
So,
let's tell you the story. We got Kano for Valentine.
yes, it was a Valentine's Day gift. And he is a mini pincher. He's a red mini pincher. He's so freaking adorable.
Adorbs.
And he's a boy, of course, because we're saying he.
Kano.
But so what happened was we were having family night, and we have these couches that recline out. And whenever he, like, you know, when you're disciplining a puppy, like when they pee outside of the pad, you discipline them. But whenever he gets disciplined, he runs. He wants to run. Or before he gets disciplined, he wants to run. So he had just got disciplined for peeing on the floor, and he ran and hid behind our couch. Now, normally we would be like, Kano, come out of there, you know, whatever. And we were so busy with, like, we were getting ready to eat, to watch Harry
Potter Family Night.
With the girls.
Family
and night. I was in the kitchen fixing Maria's plate, and my oldest daughter had her plate and sat in the recliner and opened the recliner. And he was still under there. And we don't know how, but the bar snatched him, like, up. And as the recliner came up, his neck got caught in between the bars.
In between the bars.
So I'm in there, you know, fixing the plate, and Maria starts panicking, and she's like, oh my God, something's wrong with him. And I'm like, what? Whatever. She's like, no, something's wrong with him, something wrong with him. And then everybody's like the girls start panicking, and I run, and he's like struggling. He's struggling under the couch. So I had a bowl of something and food in my hand, and I just throw it on the floor, and I run and I dive on the floor, and I'm trying to, like, get him out, but I'm not understanding how he got caught to know that, you know, just close it back and the bar that's suffocating him will release him. So at first I'm like trying to be the Hulk. I'm trying to pull the damn couch up. And then I realized, okay, close it. So I close it, and he comes from under it. He just backs up really quick, but then he starts kind of like moving really slow. And he's scared. So I try to, like, sweet talk him. I'm like, come here, Kano, come here, baby. Oh my God, come here. And he comes. He comes. And I just, as he's coming to me, I just see blood just, like, gushing.
I can still see the image.
So
suffocating and choking.
Oh my God, it was. So he's scared. At this point, he is, like, he's in shock. So we get him, and I grab him, and there's this big, like, you can't see it now because of healed, but like right here, there's this big gash, and his forehead is just wide open, and it's just gushing. And it was so crazy because he, like, even when he got caught under the couch, he didn't cry. Like, he just was, like, struggling. And I don't know, he must have just went into shock because he did not cry. He was just sitting there, and he was just, like, kind of like, you know, breathing, like, really quick, and he pooped on himself, he peed. His tongue was just kind of like hanging out of his mouth, and we just went into a panic. Everybody's screaming, everybody's crying. My oldest daughter, she's freaking out because she thinks that she's killed the dog. She's like, I don't know, I thought she was gonna pass out. Like, it was just a lot. So I had to take him to my aunt. Luckily my aunt stays really, really close. So I had to take the kids to my aunt's house, and we were like, as we're doing that, we're Googling hospitals. We're trying to figure out, everybody near us is closed. Everybody is closed. We find a hospital that's open. It's like maybe like 10 minutes away. We call them, we let them know what's going on. They say, yeah, bring them. So
the name of the hospital is
Blueboro, right there below, right there.
Right there below.
Review. We still have not done a review because we are, as a family, we're still kind of healing from it. Like, it was very, very, very traumatic. And we're obsessed with him. Like, we all equally love the crap out of this dog. Like, he's like the baby of the house. He's so cute and bad, and he keeps us all busy. He keeps us all happy. And we had wanted a dog for so long, but we were just waiting for the right moment. And it just kind of like everything just came into play with him. So it was like perfect. We were about to get his ears docked. He was going to get his ears clipped, his tail docked, his dew claws removed. This happened like Saturday, and he was due to have surgery that Tuesday coming up. So anyway, we get to the hospital.
So we get to the hospital, and it's probably like 11 minutes away from us. It's down the street, so we get there, straight shot, and they're like, "Oh, meet us. You can't come in the back because it's COVID. You can't come inside because it's COVID."
Pause. Sorry, you are not allowed to go inside the hospital with your pet unless it's something tragic.
Tragic.
Like, to
he
us,
has
it's
to
like,
be dying for it to happen. So we're like, okay, cool. Like, all right. So the girl comes out. She assessed the situation. And she's like, "Oh, he's fine. This is nothing. This is small. He just has a gash. It always looks like it's a mountain. It's just a little hill. Like, it's nothing. This is a nothing thing." So we're like, okay. So we kind of feel better about it. And so she takes him in the hospital, and they're in there for about like 2 hours, and we hear nothing.
we're sitting in the parking lot.
Sitting in the parking lot, we see other families coming and going, nurses walking past us. And so we're like, "Hey, what's going on with Kano?" Oh, he's good. We have him in a cage in the back. He's great. He's fine.
It's too long.
It's simple. It's nothing. And we're just like, "Oh, okay." So we're in high spirits at this point. We're still crying because it's like something that we were like, we're supposed to be taking care of him. We're supposed to be his end all be all type shit. So we were just kind of like
we felt like
we let him down.
Yeah.
Like we just had got him. So the nurses are reassuring us and telling us that everything is fine. So we're like, okay, cool. So about after like 2.5 hours of just sitting there, mind you, it's a Saturday. Going until Sunday, it's like when it happened, it was like 10:30. We get to the hospital around 10:45. We don't talk to somebody until like around 1 o'clock in the morning, and they start giving us a little bit of information, and they pretty much they come out. They asked her the same exact questions the last person.
It was so crazy. It's like
we answered the same questions over and over and over, and so then finally she's like, "You know what? The nurse, the actual doctors who's gonna be here, and they're gonna take care of everything. So it should be before long." So at this point, we're like, "Should we sit here?" And she's like, "Yeah, it shouldn't be before long. You could just sit here and wait." And then we're thinking, it's 1:30 in the morning. At this point, we have kids, so we're like, "Let's go get the kids, bring them back home, and kind of reassure them," because the doctor has thought the nurses have told us that he's good. So we're like, okay, so we do that. We go and get the kids. We come back home. We kind of chill a little bit, try to make sense of everything that happened, and try to go through this stuff as a couple. And so probably around an hour to when the lady said she's gonna call back in an hour.
Stop.
So literally an hour on the head, the doctor calls, and she's like, "Okay, we don't really know what's going on with him on the inside, but from what we can tell, he looks fine. All we have to do is stitch up his gash, but I do want to do an X-ray on his lungs because of the suffocation." So we're like, "Okay, cool." And she's like, "It's gonna be about what'd she say?"
So how they brought it to us is basically "Hey, so I'm gonna send you an invoice. It's gonna have two prices. the exclusive, basically the exclusive price and the basic price.
Yes.
So the exclusive price was like $1,500 or some shit. $1,500. The basic price was like 800. I want to say 700.
No. The first one. Remember, the first one was like $30 difference.
Oh yeah.
It was like a $30 difference.
And the only difference was it was like a medication. So it's basically name brand versus generic.
Yeah. So we were like, well, if it's only $30 and we have the money, let's go ahead and pay it.
Yeah.
So we went like we did what like she made it seem like, oh, he has his gash. We're gonna do we're gonna put the stitches. We're gonna
put him to sleep. We're gonna do
we're gonna do anesthesia.
Chest X-ray.
Like the whole works, the 9. So we're like, you know what? He's worth it. Although, you know what I'm saying, like when we got him, we didn't pay that much for him. We got him from some backwood type stuff. We got him on Craigslist, and it was really, really cheap. So to us, it was a steal. For the love we have for him, it's a steal. Yeah. So we were like, you know what? We're gonna pay the works. We got it, and so we paid the works. And she's like, okay, give me another hour or two. You guys paid. Like, give me another hour or two. So an hour or two goes by. She calls us back. And she's like, oh, I did the x-ray and he has fluid in the lungs. So because he has fluid in the lungs, I don't feel comfortable putting him to sleep to do the stitches. Because he could die. So we're like, so what's the solution? I'll do local anesthesia on the area. But I'll do that, but realistically, because how he's breathing and the fluid in the lungs, he's going to probably die from the trauma of that. But if he doesn't die from the trauma of that,
I'll try to stitch him up the best I can.
But realistically, after that, he's going to need extensive care.
So like therapy, she basically made it seem like, oh, he's going to have to stay in the hospital for like 5 days.
5 or 6 days.
An oxygen tank. An oxygen incubator type tank.
Yes. Because
of the fluid in his lungs, if he were to get too excited or do anything crazy, he could die. Everything she said to us was he could die. He could die. Or you could euthanize him now. Because if you take him home, he could die.
So we're just like, we're feeding into this.
No.
And so we're like, well, how much is this going to cost? And then she said, well, top care is going to be about $5,000. And we're like, $5,000?
And you have to pay it up front.
Now.
They didn't take any like down payments, so you make payments or you pay half
like
now,
some
half
normal
later.
hospital shit. Because I don't pay a single hospital bill.
So it was basically like, your dog is dying, but we need the money up front before we do anything to help your dog.
Yeah, so
to us it was crazy because it's like, yeah, it's an animal, it's not a human, but still, it's an animal hospital.
So like,
what's the purpose of this?
Yes, like what? So show some kind of
sympathy, empathy for the situation. So it's like,
because I work at a call center and all they scream is sympathy, empathy. It's not even that big of a deal, like, bruh. So we're like she's like, okay, well, the other option is, oh, you can take him to another hospital. We're like, take him to another hospital. We're like, but we can't excite him. Yeah, I know. If he gets excited, he's gonna die. But you can take him to another hospital. You could chance it. But he's gonna die though. But chance it. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, what? We can't chance on that type of situation. So we're like, okay. She's like, I'll give you guys 30 minutes to think about it. So we're talking to each other. We're calling other hospitals that we had already called before we called this hospital.
But by then, it's morning. So a lot of these places are starting to open up.
And they're answering. They're just like, oh, it's going to run you the same amount. So we're just like, what? That's crazy. It's going to run us the same amount? So we're like, there's no point in taking him to a different hospital. And we're like, let's come up with the money. So the $5,000 and then the bare minimum. The bare minimum was like what? $800?
Yeah.
The bare minimum was like $800. She's like, I can keep him for like a couple of hours in this incubator, but realistically, if he gets excited, he's on death's door.
You can take him home after that, and he could still
die. And then if you bring him back, we're gonna just say kill him. That's the only option that we have for him right now. He has to die at this point.
A puppy.
A puppy. And so we're just like, wow, you really just wanna kill him, huh? And she's just like, no.
I just have to be honest with you guys. I have to let you know the reality of the situation.
This is the rules. This is how we operate. My supervisor, there's no supervisor that can handle this. Even the supervisor will just say he has to die. Like, it is what it is. We need the money before care. And we're just like, well, we'll come up with the money. Can you give us time? We just gave you $1,200. So at 2 o'clock in the morning, for what you said was going to be this, but it turned out to be something else.
And
so we're in shock.
And realistically, like, having that money and trying to get it out of a bank or trying to move the money at 2 o'clock in the morning is extremely hard.
Yeah, because the checking and the savings, and then your savings and checking, it's crazy. So we're just like, all right, we'll try what we can. And she's just like, I'll keep him in there as long as I can.
But I'm about to leave in like an hour or so I don't know when I leave, I don't know what they're gonna do with him.
Yes, but you guys need to come get him because he's gonna die. And so me and Alicia, we're crying. At this point, we're in tears. We're breaking down. We're bawling. We're just like, oh my God, this guy, he's this, he's that. I'm looking at other dogs online. I'm just like, well, maybe we can find another Kano. And then there's no other Kanos out there. And so I'm just like, oh my God, we can't replace this guy. He's a one of a kind. He's a one of a kind. He's a one of a kind. And so we're just like, what the freak? So what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? And so we're like, all right, we come up with the money, but we come up with the money at this time. She's like, nope, no do, can't do, we need it now. So we're just like, what do we do then? What do we do?
Well,
she has another suggestion.
She's like, so there's this company, Oxygen for You or something like that.
Yeah.
We'll put the link up there because realistically,
it's a good punk
really, really good. But this company, they specialize in providing oxygen incubators for pets, for animals. So she's like, you can call them. You can see they're open 24/7. You know, you can call them, reach out to them to see if they're able to provide you with an incubator. And my recommendation is to keep him in an incubator 24/7. Do not take him out. He needs a constant flow of oxygen because he has fluid in his lungs. And if he doesn't have oxygen, he could die. So we're like, okay, we'll reach out to them. So we're reaching out. We're calling. It's Sunday. We're calling. No response, no answer. They're closed. Nothing. Like, nobody's responding. So we're like, okay, we're at a point where either we got to have $5,000 right now, or we have to, like, get rid of him because we can't bring him home. He's going to die.
We don't want the kids to see that.
We did not want the girls to experience us freaking out over a dog dying in his sleep.
And we don't want the oldest to feel like
she killed the dog.
She killed the dog. She's a murderer.
So
she's a murderer. She's a trash.
No. So anyway, this guy he finally contacts us, and he's like, "Okay, yeah, sure. You know, normally I don't work on this day, but you know, consider the situation. I got you. So give me about 30 minutes. I'll be on the way." So, the 30 minutes comes up. We didn't hear from him, so we kind of started to freak out a little bit. But he ended up calling. He's like, "Okay, on the way." He texted and said, "On the way." But, you know, it's going to cost you $500.
Plus a deposit.
Plus a $300 deposit.
Yes.
So that's $800. Whatever. So we're like, okay, you know what? Let's do it. We got it. So he comes with the oxygen incubator. It's $500 plus a $300 deposit. We do all the paperwork. He sets up this incubator. We may have taken a picture of it. I don't know. If so, we'll insert it somewhere.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna put pictures of stuff.
So he basically says, you know, you put him in there 30 minutes at a time. Take him out. Put him back in there 30. Like, you know, let him play. Not play, but let him come out. Let him get some regular air. But 30 minutes at a time, no more than 30 minutes at a time. We're like, well, wait, the vet told the hospital, the whatever lady,
The doctor told us
to keep him in there 24/7. Like,
don't let him out, don't let him get excited, don't play with him. Only come out to use the restroom, eat, and go right back in.
that's it.
Cause he's gonna die.
On top of like, we didn't even touch on the medication. They gave him like antibiotics that he had to take for 10 days, 2 different types of pain pills, and we like, bruh, the first time we gave him that pain medicine, they didn't tell us any of the side effects or what it would do to him. So the first time we give it to him, he starts foaming
At the mouth.
and like bubbling at the mouth. And we're like, oh my fuck.
He's like choking, and he just looks crazy. He doesn't look this good because he doesn't have slugs in. But still.
But he looks like he's dying. We're like, oh my God, he's gonna die, he's gonna die. It's too much, we gave him too much. We don't know what's going on. So we call the hospital. Oh yeah, that's normal. You think you could have told us that one small, slightly important detail?
Because you keep telling us he's gonna die.
We're already traumatized and thinking that he's gonna die, and we feel bad for what he's been through. So it's like, oh my God, what is going on?
We need our guy. We need the guy.
Anyway, back to the incubator. So we put him in this incubator, and like first, because of the medicine is still wearing off, and he's still kind of like calming down. He's not okay with it, but he's dealing with it. Nighttime comes, he is freaking out because normally he's either with us
Or in his cage.
He's really, really, really good with his cage. He loves to go in that cage.
Yes, he's excited about that cage.
Like, he knows that it's either time for me to take a nap, it's bedtime, or I'm just in my cage. It's not a punishment for him. And that was one of the things we liked about him. He knew what a pee pad was, and he knew what a cage was. So he's.
And then, mind you, we got him in the worst condition.
Yeah.
The owners that we get what we pay for. We got him for cheap, and they pretty much treated him like a cheap dog. He was covered in fleas. He was riddled in fleas, worms. Like,
after telling us, because we were ready to we saw him he was like 7 or 8 weeks,
and we were ready
to get him then and take care of all the necessary shots, deworming, all that. But they were like, no, let's let him, continue to wean off of the mom. Let's, 12 weeks, so we're getting his shots, we're getting his deworming treatment, we're doing everything we're supposed to do. So they're telling us that basically he's getting all the treatment he needs, so when we get him, he's going to be our perfect little puppy.
And mind you, these people probably have like what, 8 or 9 dogs?
Yeah, so
they're getting them. They were cheap, but still, if you're making,
people were buying. They had
sold
a large
out.
litter.
By the time we got them, they sold out. So you're collecting all this money, and you're not even taking
up front. So we had to pay half up front, and the only reason they wanted half up front was so that they could get him the medical treatment.
Yes.
And that was it. So we're like, you know what? Fine, we're cool with that. We want our dog. That way we know we don't have to go through all that. So when we get him, they give us this paper. Now, the vet did verify that he had them. I guess they contacted the people, so they verified that he had the first set of shots. But the deworming, they literally gave him the deworming 2 days before we got him at 12 weeks.
Yes, and he was supposed
to have it from birth to, it was like a 3 or 4 week increment that he was supposed to have it. So technically, by the time we got him, he was supposed to be on his 3rd set of deworming, 1st set of shots. And we got him, and it was the most stressful, disgusting thing in the world because he was covered in fleas, and there were worms. Every night we would be holding him, and his worms coming out his ass. Whew. He would be in his bed, and his worms coming out his ass. He would poop in there. Listen,
they were everywhere.
It was to a point.
They would be on me, and I would just be like, at least he'd be like, "Don't move." Don't freak out.
I don't like bugs. I don't like anything like
worms.
that. It was the most disgusting.
There's worms.
It was disgusting. He had tapeworms. It was disgusting. So the only good thing about him going to the hospital was they gave him a 1-dose treatment tapeworm medication, and it
cleared him.
That was the only good thing. Anyway, so he's in the incubator. He's freaking out. That night, he's howling. He's literally clawing. He's trying to claw his way out of it. He's not stopping. So we feel bad because realistically, we were told he can't get excited. So yeah, we're not playing with him, but this is excitement. He's stressing the heck out. So we open it, we take him out, we hold him, and he kind of relaxes, and we're basically trying to keep him as calm
as possible
and comfortable as possible until we can get him to the vet on Monday.
So I take him out into the living room. Mine is probably like 2 o'clock in the morning. I take him out in the living room to pee and get water and eat, and he grabs his toy because he wants to play, and he wants to play. He doesn't want to like little baby play. He wants to spin in a circle like a tornado around the whole room, knocking everything over, parkouring
He wants to
everywhere. He
Because that's
with
what
a
he was used
cone
to.
on his head, with a cone on his head. But the lady told us he's gonna die. He's gonna die.
He got home. He got with us, and
He immediately went back to his old self.
yeah,
He just he had a little breathing problem, a little asthma, little.
yeah. He was just like, he would be like, it'll be normal.
So that kind of freaked us out. So we wanted to take heed because we never seen him breathe like this.
Yeah.
But according to this guy, that was no problem. That was
he
a no
looked at us
brainer.
like, where my toys at?
Let's play.
Where's
let's
the
get lit.
love?
Like,
Where's the running around the house crazy while I chase y'all?
Mhm.
Where is that at? Because
that's all he wants to do.
that's what he got. That's what he
So
gets to play.
we listen to the lady, but like the next day comes, we take him to a vet, and the vet's like, oh, he's fine.
He is doing very good. He's recovering excellent. You don't need that oxygen machine, mind you.
We
The oxygen
paid-
machine, you have to have it for
2 weeks,
2 weeks minimum.
and they don't refund you. It is what it is.
Nothing. You use it for a day,
It's on you.
you still gotta pay.
Yes. So we already had paid up front for the thing. So we're just like, well, should we keep him in it? He's like, well, you don't really need to.
But it doesn't hurt him.
Yeah.
So we figured, okay. So basically, they gave him another dewormer just in case. They gave him a dewormer. They gave him his other set of shots. Basically, they got him healthy.
Yeah.
They gave him a little booster, and we said, since we paid this money, we're gonna at least put him in there a couple times a day.
Yeah.
Like while he's sleeping, let him sit in there because it doesn't hurt him. It kind of
Makes us feel like we got our money's worth and it's doing something.
it's doing something.
We use it here and there, but
So,
ultimately probably
yeah.
like 2 or 3 days, and then we just stop.
Yeah.
And ever since then, the guy can't quit.
He's
we
so
had
bad.
to give him a new nickname. We had to change his middle name
What's your name, Papa?
from Connor,
It was not Connor.
from Preston, to Terror. So his name is Kano
Tara Savage.
Terra Savage, apostrophe Fabian.
He's still the cutest thing ever.
Still the cutest thing ever.
But
so
he's so bad.
He is bad. We'll upload clips and you guys can see how bad and good he is at the same time.
And cute.
And cute as your button.
Cute.
I love the little guy. I love him. I love him dearly.
We do.
He's my best friend.
So that is basically the story
Of Kano, Terror Savage, Fabian.
on how our dog almost died.
Almost died. And this is the new addition to the family.
Yes.
So everybody welcome us and welcome him. Here's Kano.
Kano is getting sheepy.
Yes, she is.
He's cooking.
Yeah,
he's sleepy. He didn't even go for the swim.
oh no, he don't.
Okay.
All right, don't put my dog. All right, y'all. But that's story time with Funny Loving. Introducing y'all to Kano Terror Savage Fabian. He's a Fabian, y'all.
This is